we love this industry. We're lifers. We're committed to it. And I think, any professional and in any industry, they do love it. But at the same time, there's things that frustrate them about it. There's things that, sort of that tick them off. They're a bit peeved about. So what is it that frustrates you about being a buyer's agent, our industry? What is it that you see that annoys you?
Real estate agents. Actually, some of my best friends are real estate agents, actually. But no, it's. I think that the misconceptions. I think as soon as you talk to people about real estate agents, usually they don't give you a great response because they're synonymous. It's the same with car salespeople and stuff like that. And I think once people realize the real estate agent works for the seller, not for you, that's why they're not your friend. That's why they're not telling you the truth all the time. That's why they're doing that. But with our industry, the way some real estate agents are and the way they kind of act when it comes to selling property can be really frustrating. And I totally understand from a client perspective why there's a lack of trust there, lack of transparency. So that can become very frustrating about dealing in the industry.
Yeah, that's a good one. I agree with that one. I think another one I'm seeing at the moment, which it disappoints me to say this, but we're a national business. We've got people in all the major capital cities. It was a deliberate approach for us to give our clients independent, non-biased approach for investment advice. It doesn't matter. Like, we've got people everywhere, but we can put people into the right capital city based on timing and various different other things. What I'm seeing today, and as I said, it's a little bit disappointing, is that when we're out there making offers on property, say Perth or Brisbane or Adelaide, wherever it might be, there's offers being made over the phone. And these people are buyer's agents and quite respectable buyer's agents, I'm sure, but they're buying property behind a desk in Melbourne, in Sydney, and they're buying interstate. And they don't actually have feet on the street.
Yeah, I agree.
And they're getting the real estate agent who's selling the property to take photos and videos of the property for them and sending it back to their location. Or they're getting the rental manager to do it. Or they're paying someone like a spotter's fee of $500 to go around, have a look at the property, send the data, send the footage back to the buyer's agent, sitting behind his desk or her desk in another state. I find that really, really disappointing because that's not representing the client's best interest. You need, the buyer's agent needs to physically inspect the property, go around it, make their assessments, assess the suburb, assess the street, assess the property, switch on the lights, test the power points, test the air conditioning, ask the hard questions of the agents. And that can't be done sitting behind a desk in another state. That's probably one of my biggest gripes.
Yeah, it gives buyer's agents a bad name because they're not doing the work. I think one of the things that is frustrating is that I love our country. Every state, the property laws are typically different. And that is frustrating for clients, especially when they're buying in different states. Some have cooling off, some don't have cooling off. The way you do your contracts are different. So that can be frustrating, especially when a lot of them are ever changing as well with new laws, new changes. So that can be a frustrating part of it as well. It'd be great if we were all on the same page.
Probably another one would be the misuse of data. And I think we had a conversation in another session we had, but there's lots of companies now claiming to be AI and data centric, and they're not looking at the right data sets. They're saying you should be buying in this suburb because look at the growth. It's doing 9% per annum or 10% or 12%. But often they're looking at such a short data set. They're not looking at longer data sets. And data doesn't uncover all the facts about that suburb that they're buying in. At a high level, it's saying, this suburb's done 9%, but there's good parts of the suburb, there's bad parts of the suburb. I think a lot of people are fooled into going with some of these businesses that claim all the results is based on data when there's a lot of other elements you should look for when buying property that data just doesn't uncover.
Yeah. It's really that top-down data element which we work from, and then bottom-up, feet on the street, experienced buyers agents, familiar with suburbs, familiar with the area, and it's really making sure those two meet, and that there's the genuine due diligence done from people that are physically on the ground, that are property professionals, that actually really know what they're doing.
Yeah.
And I think the magic is where those two really meet in the middle. So you're actually getting the best of both elements, but you're not over reliant on one singular one.
My frustration peaks when people don't know the difference between a buyer's agent who's purchasing them an established property and the client is paying them directly because we're working for them, versus, and they give themselves all these different names, property advisor, property advocate, etc., where they're telling the client, I'm working to help you reach a goal with a property, but they're being remunerated by the seller of that product, which in essence and by definition makes them a seller's agent, actually. And my frustration is I get phone calls every single week from clients to say, I've been talking to a few buyer's agents, and I'll ask them what are their names. And they'll give me the names, and majority of the time, the people that they're talking to aren't buyer's agents. But I don't think there's enough education to understand that. But also, it frustrates me because I think a lot of people hide behind the shield of integrity that real buyer's agents have, who have been doing this for a very long time, that weren't doing it for a lifestyle change or anything like that, but were just genuinely passionate about property and saving people from making bad decisions. And then you get these other people that are just about profit. They're just trying to sell something, whether you're a super fund, whether you're an individual, whether you're a first time investor, you're all getting the exact same property that's in the exact same building, in the exact same location. And that is not advice to me. That's not advisory. And that's probably my biggest frustration with the industry in that respect, is that it's not hard to say you're a buyer's agent when you're not.